Good evening, Liam. It is Daddy here again and missing you from far away. When it's nighttime here, even though for you it's only about 2 in the afternoon, so you're still at school. But it's nighttime here and it's dark, and we're in the apartment that you saw earlier when you came in and the guy showed us around. So I'm reading you a story since I have no one here beside me to read a story to. So I have to read it to you when you're far away, so it can be nice. And I'm going to see you now in today's Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's only 4 more days until I see you, but it's still too long and too far away. But we're going to see you very soon. But in the meantime, let's read a story together. And this is the book that you've been reading for a while now, the chapter book. And we're up to chapter 9, Dennis's Secret. So let's get started. That afternoon, Eva walked slowly to the park. She couldn't quite feel herself. She crouched in the cool grasses and stared at the water. In the sunlight, it looked almost silver. She was still there when the pigeons returned in the evening. "What's the matter, dear?" asked one of them. She was large, for a pigeon, with dark gray stripes that sparkled in the moonlight, and she had grown to care deeply for Eva. "I don't know," said Eva. "Sometimes I just feel so out of place, like I really don't belong. Today we went on this field trip, and the other children in my class were all pointing to their apartments and their bus stops and their candy stores, and I don't really have a place of my own." Eva felt the familiar fluttering in her heart. "This is your place, dear," cooed the pigeon comfortingly. "You know we all love you." "I know," said Eva, "and I'm really happy here. But I feel like maybe there's a whole side of me that I don't know." Eva's secret danced around impatiently, trying to get out. "I only wish I knew what it was." She sighed very deeply. It may have been because of that tiny turtle that grants big wishes, or maybe it was just the right moment, but as Eva sighed, her secret grabbed hold of it. As the sigh escaped her, so did her secret, exulting in its sudden freedom. The funny fluttering in her heart was gone. All that remained was a warm feeling. "That's just my magic," she said to herself knowingly. Eva smiled happily at the pigeon. "Do you want to see what I learned in school?" "Of course, dear," said the pigeon. She was always proud of Eva's accomplishments. Eva took a piece of paper and showed it to the pigeon. If the pigeon had been able to read, she would have known it said, "There is a little flutter in my stomach. I think it might be my secret trying to get out." It was Eva's homework assignment from the first day of school. She didn't need it anymore. The pigeon watched with great interest as Eva folded the paper this way and that. I wonder what she's going to make for the pigeon. She tucked the corners, creased the fold sharply, and bent out the sides. When she was done, it looked just like a swan, an elegant swan with a long neck. "That's beautiful," murmured the pigeon appreciatively. Eva walked to the edge of the water and set the swan afloat. She watched it glide gracefully away from her across the surface of the silver water. The next day, when Eva went to school, she walked a little taller. Her chin stuck out slightly, like the beak of a proud swan. She now knew was exactly what she was, or used to be anyhow. She walked gracefully up the stairs and through the doorway of the Murmur Street School. She waved hello to Jimmy, then walked up the 2 flights of stairs to Mrs. Snickle's room. There was a lot of commotion. Haley had just lost a tooth. "Let me see," cried Oliver. Haley held up her tooth. "I don't want to see the tooth," cried Oliver. "I want to see the hole where the tooth was." Haley opened her mouth and pointed. "Ooh," said Oliver. "Ooh," said everybody else. "But I have a yellow treasure chest?" Haley asked Mrs. Snickle. "Of course. Of course." Miss Snickle went to her desk to get it. Dennis yawned and walked away. In Mrs. Snickle's class, when you lost a tooth, you got to pick a little plastic treasure chest to keep it in so you wouldn't lose it. Then, at night, you would put it under your pillow and the tooth fairy would come. She would take away your tooth but leave you the treasure chest and also some money. A quarter, or, if you were really lucky, maybe even $1. Eva had never lost any teeth. After all, swans are birds, and birds don't even have teeth. Eva felt around in her mouth with her tongue. Teeth. They felt very good. "I wonder," thought Eva, "if now that I'm a girl, I will start losing my teeth." She hoped so. She tried to wiggle her front teeth with her tongue. It seemed to her that the one on the left wiggled ever so slightly. Or was it just her imagination? "What if I'm the only kid who never loses any teeth?" cried Eva. Good thing that's not something you will have to worry about, Liam. You're pretty clearly a boy who does lose his teeth and grows in nice, big, new adult teeth in their place. "Oh, don't worry about that," said Dennis. "Your teeth will fall out when they're ready. Everybody's do. Except mine, that is. I won't ever lose my teeth." "Why not?" asked Eva. "It's genetic," Dennis explained. Do you know what genetic means, Liam? You probably do. Related to your genes, the instructions in your body. So he's saying that like his instructions don't make him lose his teeth, which I find very hard to believe, and there's probably some other explanation for it. But let's read more and find out for ourselves. "What's genetic mean?" asked Oliver. "It means stupid," said Lacey. Dennis glared at her. "No, it doesn't," he said. "It means it has to do with my family. People in my family don't lose their teeth, like the way some people need glasses and some don't. If your parents need glasses, you are more likely to need them too." Remember that one, Liam. "In my family, people don't lose their teeth." "How awful," said Haley through her sniffles. "If you don't lose any teeth, the tooth fairy must never come." "Oh, she comes anyway," said Dennis. "The tooth fairy is my friend, and my mother leaves them for me." "Yeah," said Nathan. "Mine too. Mine leaves me a quarter for each tooth." "That's it," yelled Oliver. "Mine leaves me $1, 2 for a molar." "No," explained Dennis. "The tooth fairy really is my mother." "Mine it too," said Haley. "It would easy to figure out because you write the little note with the money that says, 'Love the tooth fairy.' And it's in my mom's handwriting." "I saw my mom being the tooth fairy once," said Oliver. "I actually woke up and there she was." "Wow," said all the other kids. "But my mom really is the tooth fairy," said Dennis. No one listened except Lacey, and she only half listened. She was staring at Dennis's perfect teeth. Dennis walked away with his pearly white teeth. His mother really was the tooth fairy. Sure, every kid's mother or father took their child's tooth and replaced it with money under the pillow, but they were just helpers. like Santa's elves helping Santa Claus during the Christmas rush. Dennis's mom had the hard job. Every morning, right at that moment when the sky is the color of old teeth, she traveled around in a flying chariot and collected every last tooth. Then she brought them all home and let Dennis keep the ones that belonged to his friends. Sometimes Dennis worried that he was breaking the class rule: no telling secrets. But then he would look at his homework assignment from the first day of school. He had it hanging on the refrigerator. Dennis: secrets are very tricky things. If you tell a secret, is it still a secret? Is a secret something that nobody else knows, or that most people don't know? What if you tell a secret, but nobody believes you? Have you told a secret or not? If a tree falls in a forest and nobody hears it, does it make a noise? I don't know what this has to do with secrets, but it is an interesting question. Maybe take a moment to think about that. Dennis had given the matter much thought. In his opinion, trees didn't make a sound if no one heard them fall. And kind of in the same way, he figured his secret was like a tree. It wasn't telling a secret if nobody believed it was true. And if no one believed him, then he hadn't broken the rule. Everyone was standing around Haley. "Well," said Miss Snickle, "since everyone seems so interested in losing teeth, I have a special snack for the occasion." She walked around the room, putting a crisp, shiny red apple on top of each person's desk. Haley's desk purred a little at the smell of food, even though it much preferred ice cream to apples. Then it went back to its usual nap. When she got to Eva's desk, Miss Snickle whispered to Eva, "Are things better at home?" Eva smiled happily. "I took your advice, and I feel much better." "That's wonderful," said Miss Snickle, and she went to hand out the rest of the apples. Eva bit into her apple. "Ow!" she cried. "What's wrong, Eva?" "My tooth feels kind of funny." The apple was harder than she expected. She poked at her tooth with her tongue. "Maybe your tooth's going to fall out," cried Oliver. "Can I see?" All the children gathered around Eva's desk. When Eva's tooth didn't fall out, they returned to their own desks and their own apples. They spent the rest of the day biting hard into their apples. Everyone wanted their teeth to come out. They wiggled them around with their tongues and did everything they could to make them come out. But Dennis knew better. Teeth come out when they're ready, not just because you want them to. Just before 3 o'clock, Eva's tooth was ready. "My tooth!" she cried, holding it gingerly in her hand. "Cool!" yelled Oliver. "Let me see." She showed him the tooth. "No, I want to see the hole where your tooth was." She showed him the hole. "Cool!" Eva thought so too. She chose a purple treasure chest and carried the tooth in it very carefully. She was very excited, although she worried a bit about whether the tooth fairy, whoever she was, would find her in the park. She put the tooth under her book bag and hoped for the best. And that is the end of the chapter. That was a pretty long chapter, so you don't have a lot more time to stay up tonight. You're going to have to get to bed pretty quickly and get to sleep. Well, I guess you're already in bed, but, get to sleep pretty quickly. And maybe you can watch a How It's Made, maybe not. That will be left up to Peepop or Grandmom or whichever Peepop or Grandmom is putting you to bed. And then you will have some very nice dreams, and you will wake up in the morning, and we will probably talk when you wake up in the morning because we've been doing that every day, and we'll be one day closer to seeing you because now we're more than halfway through, so there's not that much time left. So have a good night. Mommy and I love you, and we will see you very, very soon.